I was debating whether or not I should report on this news topic, but I'm going to report it anyways. A Reddit user who played the Division since launch uh, played it for 15 hours straight, I believe. It was a day. So obviously, if she played for 15 hours a day, then yeah, whoever played it, like, just sat there and just play it. But anyways, basically, by the time that person reached the 15-hour mark in the division, they already reached a level cap. Which I find this very concerning because it's kind of like what I said earlier. And looking at the Steam reviews, the reviews overall, if you look on the Steam store page, you'll see the reviews say mixed. And I was actually worried this game wasn't going to turn out as great as we thought because there was a bunch of hype behind the game. And whenever a game has a lot of hype behind it, there's always a lot of skepticism. And when I saw actual gameplay of the Division, I was still not convinced. And the RPG elements just made me think of Destiny. And it actually turned out to be Destiny from the looks of it. Like, sure, I haven't played the game, but from the looks of it and what people are saying about the game in the reviews, it feels like Destiny. Sure, like the whole embargo thing, that probably gave it some negative press, and some fucking people on Metacritic are probably giving it negative reviews without even playing the game, which would be considered unfair. But there's some good reviews seen on the Steam page saying, oh, it's atmospheric and has good gameplay, it's fun to play. Well, now it's even sounding more like Destiny, you know what I mean? Like, isn't this starting to sound familiar? As good atmospheric, good music, and guns, and has a minimalist story from the looks of it, and has a bunch of DLC. There's already a trailer on the Steam page showcasing the DLC that will be coming out throughout the year. Does this sound familiar? It's like Destiny. It's happened again. It's Destiny all over again. You got a game that looks really nice. The art design is fantastic. The shooting, the FPS gameplay is fantastic. The leveling up process, the gameplay in general is great, but the story is very minimal. They pretty much just take the minimalist approach, but that's what hooks you in. It's the gameplay. Oh, you want more story? Well, you need to buy the rest. Like, I mean, really? It just amazes me how, like, we buy a game $60 and we always have to buy the rest. But you want to know why? It's because game devs and publishers can get away with it, because it's not like 15 years ago. Yeah, I'm pretty much just reiterating what I said in my other opinion editorial vid. Basically, not 15 years ago, game devs couldn't get away with this because there would be no way to add. There was no such thing as DLC or updates at the time. If a game was broken, it was broken. It had to be returned. It had to be refunded, and you would have to buy a new one, which would cost the publisher a lot of money. And now that games are more expensive, there's tons of microtransactions and all that, and it really just, there's a bunch of nickel and diming all the time, not just with microtransactions. It's just that we're seeing a lot of games just giving us the bare minimum. And for the longest time, we've been only seeing that in fighters, but now we're starting to see it in games overall. And I really think Destiny has really started this trend, and I think this trend might start to get worse. I don't know. I just like to have a game with actual content. Sure, I don't mind DLC. Like, I understand, I can get behind supporting the developer way after launch. But, I mean, why pay $60 for a game that's just the bare minimum? It's like we're being sold unfinished games, and then they just, actually no, we're given games that are finished, and things are just taken out, and then we buy for it later. And it's not like it hasn't happened before. We've seen on-disc DLC from Capcom, and I really think it's going to get worse from here. I really think it is. And I'm not surprised in any way that, like, fucking, I'm not even going to call it Division anymore. I'm just going to call it Destiny Tom Clancy Edition. I'm not really surprised it turned out the way it did. And we weren't really shown much to begin with. We were only shown E3 footage demos that in no way represented the actual game. If you look on the Steam page, all you see is screenshots from the E3 presentation, but when you look at the trailer, you see a significant downgrade in graphics. Well, personally, I don't mind, because like, it's fairly common. I never really understood why people complained about a downgrade in graphics. Obviously, there's going to be a downgrade, but like, if the game's good, it's going to be good. But it wasn't the graphics downgrade that really made me skeptical. It was the game mechanics. That's all it was. And this whole excuse they made over the embargo about you need the true experience, like it's a fucking MMO, but it isn't really. It's like Destiny. It's just a semi MMO. Like their other MMO they had from Ubisoft, The Crew, that's an actual MMO. That's a legit reason. But the Division, or as I'd like to call it, Destiny, the Tom Clancy edition, it's not an MMO. It's a semi-MMO. That was just some bullshit excuse Ubisoft made up just to hold back reviews until launch, because we don't want any negative or average reviews coming before launch, because we know the consumer is going to cancel their pre-order before launch once they get wind of review scores. But, yeah, that's game industry for you. Anyway, I'm the Canadian, and I'll see you in the next video.